Wanna know? Then play hide and seek with me. Find me, and I'll tell you.
The Night Emissary of Spook Shack, an agent unlike any before her. Twisting the power of ethereals through her spellbook, she'll be our first Rupture support. This is Lucia, so let's get started. Edibu, my man. You here for your coffee? Tim Master. Don't worry about it. You know, coffee's kind of bad for you, man. But don't worry. I got something even better. With today's sponsor, LootBar. LootBar is a safe and trusted shop where you can top up premium currency for your favorite games, including other Hoyo titles. The good part is that LootBar gives you more Monochrome for way less, with a discount of up to 23% off. For my min-maxers out there, you know that number makes a huge difference. Whether you're saving up for a signature W engine or just trying to stretch your pulls further, every bit counts. And if you're brand new to LootBar, you get an extra 10% off coupon on your first order. That's 2 big, juicy coupons stacked. The whole process is quick and safe. Just enter your UID, your region, pick what you want, and your order shows up fast. No login info, no sketchy risks, just clean, simple delivery. Plenty of other proxies and creators already use LootBar for their deals, and now you can too. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description or the pinned comment and start saving today with LootBar. And now, back to Lucia. Let's break down exactly how Lucia works. Starting with her core skill, it gives her a special bar where she stores dream points. Upon entering combat, it will be partially filled. In order to fully fill it, you'll have to use whims. Once the bar is full, you'll enter dream state, and using whims will instead consume your bar and they'll be upgraded to something called a harmony. These are all new terms, so let me break them down for you. Whims are a special name that some of Lucia's attacks have. It's important to know which attacks are whims so you know how to charge her dream points. Harmonies are another special name, and these typically deplete the dream points meter. Also, using a harmony gives the whole team a damage percent buff for 12 seconds. Repeated uses will just reset the duration, so it's important to use harmonies frequently to keep the buff up, but not too much where you won't have them available. Moderation is key. Now for the dream state, when you first enter it, you'll be able to quick assist to the next agent in your lineup. It will also create this awesome looking border on the screen. This is a buff called Ether Veil Wellspring, which gives the team 5% bonus max HP and lasts 40 seconds. It can be extended by re-entering dream state or using EX special up to 300 seconds. Such long uptimes means it will probably always be up without any maintenance. Speaking of which, while Lucia is off field and in the dream state, she will perform an aftershock attack whenever a teammate attacks an enemy. This has a cooldown of 8 seconds. They are also considered a harmony. Lastly, her additional ability activates if there is a Rupture or Stun agent on your team. It gives 30% crit damage to anyone with the Dark Break status. Don't worry, we'll cover this soon and there'll be a recap of all of these unique terms at the end of the video as well. Let's move on to Lucia's other skills. Thankfully, all of them do ether damage, so please assume any instance of damage she does is ether. Please note that any whim attacks will fill up the bar when not in dream state, but will consume the bar when you are in dream state, and they'll be upgraded to a harmony. All harmonies consume 25 points, or 1/4 of the full bar, so that should make it easier to remember. We'll begin with her basic attacks. She has a string of 5 attacks. The last one is a whim that grants 40 dream points while you're not in dream state, or consumes 25 while in dream state. Next is her dodge skill. Like any agent, she has a dodge she could use to evade attacks, and a dash attack which simply does a little bit of damage. What's most interesting is her dodge counter. If you attack immediately after a perfect dodge, you can perform this attack, which is a whim and restores 20 dream points. This effect has a 5-second cooldown. On to her assist skill. Her quick assist is a whim that restores 20 dream points on a 5-second cooldown, just like her dodge counter. She also has a defensive assist, which can be used to parry incoming attacks, and a follow-up to retaliate. The follow-up restores 40 dream points. Using this with the base 60 dream points Lucia has when walking into the battlefield is enough to put her in dream state, so it's good to do this quickly to get the most out of your buffs. Now for her special attacks. Her normal special is a whim, and restores 20 dream points with a 5-second cooldown. Her EX special is always a harmony that restores 60 dream points. It also is special because it doesn't consume dream points while in the dream state. It's only meant to boost your points, not use them up. It also extends Ether Veil by 16 seconds, and grants the whole team Darkbreaker, her sheer force buff. The final attack from her EX scales with a percentage of her max HP, so remember to build a lot of HP on her. You'll need it to max Darkbreaker too. Lastly, the EX lets you follow up with her 5th basic attack, which restores even more dream points. Together, they both restore 100, so it's an easy way to get back into the dream state if you have a fully empty bar. Finally, we'll cover her chain attack and ultimate. Her chain attack is a harmony that restores 40 dream points outside of dream state. While in dream state, it doesn't consume any dream points. Using it refreshes Darkbreaker as well. So be sure to chain attack if you don't have the buff up for the stun window. Her ultimate summons a giant ethereal you can ride into battle. You actually can't die while you're riding it and take reduced damage. The ethereal can explode. You can continue riding it until it expires or detonate it manually. This leaves behind a healing circle that heals the team based on Lucia's HP. This attack also extends Ether Veil Wellspring by 24 seconds and immediately puts you into the dream state if you're not in it. If you are in it though, it will give you a free bar once you deplete it, basically a free reload into your next dream state. It's pretty cool. Due to this, using this ultimate will never feel like a waste. Lucia's build is pretty straightforward. Being a support agent, she's naturally geared towards building more supportive sets like Swing Jazz, Astro Voice, and the newest set, Moonlight Lullaby. I highly recommend you choose Moonlight Lullaby for your 4-piece set, as its bonus effects are the best. The other two can work if you already have pieces with good substats, but their buffs will be up much less. For her 2-piece set, you'll want Yunqui Tails, since she heavily scales with HP. If you don't want to farm Tails, you can also use any set that isn't geared towards Anomaly or crit damage, since she'll likely not have enough crit rate to make it work. Feel free to pick from Swing Jazz for more energy regen, Hormone Punk or Astro Voice for a little boost in attack, or even Puffer Electro. She may be a Rupture support, but she's not a Rupture unit, so pen ratio actually does help her. Aside from Yunqui Tails, your 2-piece should be decided by which has the highest amount of good substats and rolls. Speaking of which, Lucia values percent HP rolls the most, followed by flat HP, crit rate, and attack percent. The last two will help her with her average damage, but you really want to focus on her HP to get the most out of her kit. Any other stats are just there as a small bonus. Now, let's talk about the main stats on her discs. For slot 4, you'll want percent HP to help maximize her buffs and personal damage as some of it scales with HP. If you've already built enough HP, you'll likely want crit rate to help her average damage dealt. Other options like percent attack and crit damage can help her personal damage, but won't have as much of an effect as crit rate. I recommend you hold out and not level a piece if you don't have any of her better options so you don't waste materials. In slot 5, Percent HP is your best option if you haven't reached her buff's maximum HP requirement. Your next best stat is between ether damage bonus and pen ratio. These will provide a greater increase to Lucia's damage than percent attack. If you're having trouble deciding whether damage bonus or pen ratio is better, I made a video explaining when to choose one over the other. You can check it on the top right here, and I'll link it at the end of this video too. Lastly, for slot 6, choose percent HP if you still need to max out Lucia's buffs. Otherwise, your best option is energy regeneration. More energy means you'll be able to use her EX more, and it can help with managing her dream state. Percent attack isn't bad either, it just won't give as many benefits as percent HP. If you're already maxed and don't need the extra energy, it may be worth using, or as a temporary disc until you get a better one. Remember, it's okay to recycle already leveled discs instead of rolling a bad disc now. You'll save a lot of material in the long run. Let's talk about Lucia's W engine options. As with most premium agents, her best will be her signature, Dreamlit Hearth. It's designed to perfectly complement her kit by providing energy regen to cast more EXs, additional damage bonus to support the team more, and an increase in max HP, which will boost Rupture units' sheer force since that scales off of their HP. Its advanced stat makes building easier, as it's the only non-B rank engine to give percent HP. Getting both the premium agent and weapon can be a huge investment depending on your luck. Thankfully, Lucia does have other options. Rina's signature, Weeping Cradle, provides greater energy regen and a comparable damage bonus buff as well. The pen ratio is an added bonus for personal damage. Being S rank, it will also provide a higher base attack. This is a standard channel S rank W engine. Chances are, you may have multiple copies of it, and these will only serve to further strengthen this as a great backup option. Next, we have some A rank engines like Kaboom the Cannon and Unfettered Game Ball. Kaboom provides energy regen for Lucia and bonus attack for the whole team. Usually, this is great, but for Rupture units, whom she's supposed to be supporting, attack doesn't convert into as much damage as sheer force does. Situationally, Game Ball can be better for the team if the enemy is weak to ether. In this case, it provides the team with crit rate, and all Rupture agents currently scale with crit. The downside is that Game Ball is a Battle Pass exclusive engine. It can only be obtained as a reward on the paid version of the new Eridu City Fund. Conversely, let's talk about some free-to-play options. Slice of Time provides decibels for the team and a little bit of energy for Lucia. Since it's craftable, you can ensure you'll get 5 stars eventually for the maximum buffs. Lastly, if you only have B ranks, the Reverb Mark III provides percent HP to help Lucia build and a small damage bonus buff for the team. To effectively use Lucia in a team, there's one thing you absolutely need: a Rupture agent. Without one on the team, a large portion of her buffs go unused. You'd honestly see better results using Nicole on a non-Rupture team, as she provides more damage percent and a defense shred buff which Ruptures cannot use. This requirement limits team options as there aren't many Rupture agents released. We only have Yixuan, which released in 2.0, and Monoto, who will be on Lucia's release banner. Idhari will be released 3 weeks later, but until then, if you don't have Yixuan, you're running Monoto. On the bright side, this limited roster is also great at giving us a sense of direction when building teams. Now that we have options for a DPS alongside Lucia, the third teammate should be a stunner. There are currently 8 stunners. Each of them has specific circumstances in which you'd use them. We'll begin with the most premium and general options, and work our way to more niche and free-to-play alternatives. The top 2 choices are Jifufu and Trigger. Both are off-field stunners, which can build up days and buff the team in various ways without taking up your Rupture agent's field time. Trigger recently re-ran, while Jifufu will run alongside Idhari, so you'll have another chance to pick her up soon. Next up, Qingyi is a solid option, but since she's on field, she'll require a bit more management to apply her buffs, while not sacrificing too much time on your Rupture agent. She really shines in situations where the enemy boss has a stun damage multiplier less than 150, since she boosts the multiplier. This niche is shared with Trigger and Lycon, so try to use them against these types of enemies and you'll see much better performance. Lycon is also more niche as he mainly provides ice support by reducing ice res. This means he's more geared towards working with Idari. Monoto cannot benefit from all Lycon has to offer, but both he and Idari can benefit from Lighter, since he provides both fire and ice res reduction. However, a lot of his power is lost due to not being able to activate his additional ability. While he is a better option than the following ones, it's more about how lackluster they are than about how much he can do for this team given the limitations on his ability. The final 3 options are Pulchra, Kaleda, and Ambi. These 3 are mainly fallback options. I'd only place Pulchra at the top if she's M6, as she can boost the damage of the team outside of Aftershock while being off-field, so she's not intrusive. Kaleda doesn't provide any meaningful team buffs, but she does stun really fast, and mostly just comes into EX and do a burst of daze. Ambi is the most basic stunner in the game. She's our introduction to the role and a free agent we all get, so we can't expect much as the game has changed so much since launch. If you're having trouble picking a specific stunner, remember to respect the enemy's resistances. If a boss resists your stunner's attribute, you will do a lot less daze with your attacks. Also, in Shiyu or Deadly Assault, consider the buffs and boss conditions. Some may require evasive or defensive assists specifically, so choose your stunner based on availability and matchups. So, should you pull for Lucia? Well, that depends on what kind of player you are. If you enjoy flexible teams and don't want to be locked into a specific agent types, Lucia might not be for you. Her biggest drawback is her Rupture dependency. Without one, her buffs lose a lot of value, and your overall team performance will drop. Right now, that means you'll need either Yixuan or Minato, with Dari arriving later as another option. If you don't plan to invest in at least one Rupture agent, you'll get more consistency elsewhere. However, if you already have a Rupture unit, or plan to pull Minato anyways, Lucia becomes a great pickup. She's stylish, unique, and synergizes well with Rupture-heavy teams. Once you pair her correctly, she can amplify your team's damage and create a strong loop of buffs to help you take down enemies. It's also worth thinking long-term. The Rupture archetype is still new, which means it's bound to expand in future updates. More Rupture agents, or even new off-field Rupture supports, could easily boost Lucia's value over time. Even if you skip her now, she's the kind of character who might age upward with the right teammates later. If her playstyle interests you, keeping an eye out for her rerun could be a smart move. For players who pull based on aesthetics or personality, she's one of the more striking and mysterious agents so far. If you just like her vibe, there's no shame in pulling for fun. Games like this are meant to be enjoyed, and a character you love using will always feel stronger than one that sits unused in your roster. Now, let's talk about mindscapes. If you decide to pull further, here's what you can expect. M3 and M5 are just 2 levels across all skills, so we'll cover all the others in order. At M1, your team's attacks will ignore some enemy res and generate more decibels if you have Lucia's damage buff active. Also, she'll be able to reapply the buff more easily using stacks of a buff called Echo, which she'll gain from this mindscape. The res ignore is huge, and the added decibels could help with stun window combos. I'd recommend this mindscape to anyone having trouble clearing or looking to get a bit higher scores for personal enjoyment. For M2, Lucia's harmonies will do more damage, and Darkbreaker will also boost the sheer damage multiplier while she's in Aether Veil. This is where the majority of her team-oriented support capabilities top off. A good place to stop for score chasing. With M4, the team will gain 100 decibels every time Aether Veil is activated or extended with a cooldown of 15 seconds. The additional decibels might open up new stun window rotations since you'll be gaining so many more decibels. This is better suited for speedrunning kills if the fights last long enough. Finally, M6. When Lucia is inside any Aether Veil, she gains attack which scales with her initial max HP. Her harmonies always crit, and they gain crit damage. This is just extra personal damage. It sounds impressive on paper, but solid calcs would need to be made to better judge this. Ultimately, you're only M6ing if you're a Lucia superfan. Best of luck to everyone pulling. Lucia's a unique support with a clear rhythm. She flows between building dream points and unleashing harmonies to empower her team. Once you learn to balance the cycle, she becomes a constant source of sustained buffs that will take your Rupture agents to the next level. She may not be plug and play for everyone, but once her team is set up, she really makes them hit hard. So whether you're pulling for performance or personality, I hope this guide helps you get the most out of the Night Emissary herself. She truly is the GOAT. If you'd like to see more quality videos, here are 2 of our best ones. My editor and I are always looking to improve, so check them out and let us know how we did. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.